Hey there, Frederick Douglass Elementary School. It's Mrs. Shupard, your favorite art teacher, and today we are going to be drawing turtles. So let's get started. The first turtle we're going to be drawing today is not going to look like a real turtle. It's going to look more like a cartoon turtle. And this turtle is going to have really big eyes. So just so you're aware as we're drawing it, it's going to have eyes that are definitely not realistic. It's going to have some super huge eyes. When we start drawing this turtle, we need to make sure that we have enough room for his shell. We're going to have the shell over on this side, and like I've told you before, I've told you in class and also on these videos, for some reason I always like to start with the head. So the shape that you're going to need for the head, and like I said, we're going to need to start over here for the head because the shell is going to take up a lot of the room on the other side of our paper. We're going to have a curved line at the top of his head, and then this line is going to curve down until you get to his mouth. The turtle kind of has like a little bit of a beak, but it's his mouth, but it's kind of a little bit pointy over here. So we're going to have that line come in and kind of go up into like a little smile. And then we're going to draw his bottom lip is going to come down from there and come back like that. And that's also going to have to kind of be like the bottom of his head. Now remember those big eyes I was telling you about? We're going to put one big eye. It's going to be a big circle, and I know in class a lot of you try to find things that are circle shapes so that you can trace them. You don't need to do that. If you feel more comfortable doing that, you can do that. Find something that's a circle and trace it. But I've told you before, when you're drawing eyes, it does not need to be a perfect circle. So I have a little bit of a line here that was from the head that I'm going to just erase. And then I'm going to put his other eye is going to be behind part of his head. So it's going to start coming around. And if you have that circle that you're tracing, don't trace the whole circle because you just need part of it. So you're going to draw the circle and then stop. You're not going to draw this part of the circle because that's where his head is. So you're just going to have the circle coming out from behind. So his eye on this side, it looks like it's coming out from behind his head, and then we have this one that's in front of his head. And the other part that we want to do for the eyes is we want to do another circle inside of it, and then even one more circle inside of that, and that part is going to be all shaded in, so you can use your pencil to shade in center part of the eye. And then we're going to draw these lines that are coming out. These kind of look like eyelashes at first, but they're not. They're just part of the design of the eyeball. So we're just going to draw these lines that are coming straight out from the little circle in the middle. And then if I want to do a little bit of a little reflection of the eye, like the light is shining off of his eyeball, I'm going to use my eraser and try to erase in a circle. And then I can draw the circle around where I just erased. So that leaves a little white spot on the eye to make it look like a reflection. And we're going to do the same thing over on this eye, except it's going to be coming out from right next to where his face is. So when you're drawing this circle here, you're not going to draw exactly all of it. It's going to go and stop right here where it overlaps with the head. And then you're going to draw your other little circle in here. And then remember, we shaded that all in with our pencil to make it look kind of gray or dark. And then we took our pencil and we did the pattern that comes out from the dark circle. And then we took our eraser and erase a little circle for the light reflection, and then draw the circle again, so that looks like the light is reflecting off of that eye. And now we're ready to draw the rest of our turtle. And let's just go ahead and draw the neck. So the neck of our turtle, you know, turtles, when they stick their neck out of their shells, kind of a long neck. So we're gonna have a long neck come down here. And then that's gonna actually go into the belly. So you're curving it down to about there. And then let's see about the shell. The shell can come out from the eyeball and down, and then the shell will curve up, and then this part of his head is going to come right here and connect down. So this is actually another part of his neck. So here's one side of the neck, here's the other side of the neck, and then that's where it meets the shell, where it's coming out of the shell. And we're gonna have another part of the shell come down, and it follows the same line until it gets back to the back of the shell. And then we can draw the tail. The tail's almost a triangle, but it's got a little bit of a curve to it because we want it to look like it's coming out from the shell. So it's almost that triangle shape, except it curves back under the shell. Now we're ready to draw some legs, and we can draw those with two lines that come out of the shell, and it gets a little bit wider as it's going into the foot. And I'm just going to go ahead and do 4 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be the leg that's closer to you. And then let's do the other leg that's on this side of his body. We'll put it right here. And we can actually erase this line because it's in front of his body. So we don't want that line showing. And let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4 toes again. And then the other leg that is coming out is going to be his other front leg, but it's behind, kind of behind his neck. So 2 lines that come out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And his other leg that's back here is coming out from behind his body. So we're not even going to draw the whole thing. We're going to draw one line because the other line is behind this leg. Can't see it from this angle. And we're going to draw some of the toes. Let's see how many toes we can fit before we run out of room. So we're going to do 1, 2, and this toe would go behind here, so you won't be able to see it. So we'll just stop right there with the toes. So now we have the head, the eyes, the legs, the tail, and we need to finish the shell. Turtles always have a pattern on their shell. So here's the top of the shell, and we're going to add some patterns on there. So we're just going to do a curved line here. Let's do a curved line here, and let's just do one up on the top. You don't have to make the shell too complicated. You can add as many curved lines as you want, or you can add whatever pattern that you want. But for mine, I'm just going to have 3 bumps, and then inside each one for another pattern, I'm going to put a spiral line. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to go around and around and around for my spiral line. Around and around. Basically just go around and around until you run out of room. And then that can be the pattern for that part of the shell. We still have this part of the shell that we could add a pattern to, and we're going to add stripes. my stripes are gonna go a little bit curved because this part of the shell on a real turtle is kind of a little bit curved. So to make this part of the shell look like it's curved, I'm going to curve those stripes a little bit. Okay? Now the only thing that we have left to do is give it a few more little details. So I'm going to give him 2 little dots right here. Those are going to be kind of like nostrils. And this turtle is going to have some freckles. So I'm going to give some freckles on the top of his head. I'm going to give him some freckles on the side of his head. I'm going to give him a few freckles on each leg. And you can add as many freckles as you want onto your turtle, or you don't have to add any freckles. You could add a different pattern. You could give him polka dots or zigzag lines. Patterns are fun. Patterns can be whatever you want them to be, especially when you're drawing a cartoon. We're not actually trying to make this turtle look like a real turtle. It's just a fun turtle. It's just for fun, and it's whatever you want it to be. It's your own imagination. And the last thing that I want to add for a little detail is just a few little lines right here. For, you know how sometimes turtles have like that extra skin, it's kind of like a little bit, like it folds a little bit, I guess. So it has a little bit of extra skin there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of lines there. All right, that's the first turtle I wanted to show you today. The second turtle I want to show you today is a little bit bigger. It's going to take up a little bit more room on our paper. And the head is going to be really big, and then the shell is going to also be really big. So you're going to have to kind of be careful how big you draw it so that you don't run out of room. So let's see how well Mrs. Schuppard does with that. So kind of want the head to be like this area. That's about how big I want the head to be. And then I want the shell to come out this way. And this shell, I'm actually going to have a bump right here like that and connect it over. So it's a little bit tricky because you want this part to come down the back of the shell and then curve it around. This part's almost straight, and then it comes up and then back to a curved line here and connects up to the bottom of the head. Now for the head, I just drew a really light circle here. You might not even be able to see it. The reason why I did that is because I want the shape to be a little bit different. I don't want it to be a perfect circle, but I drew this as a guide for myself so that I knew where to put the shell, and now I can go back and add the details that I wanted to add to the head. We're gonna keep this line for the top of the head, but we're gonna give the turtle a little bit of a bump here. It's almost gonna look like an eyebrow when we're done. And we're gonna give him another little bump over here. And that's gonna be where the eyes are gonna go inside of the face. But we're just working on the outside right now. Now this line is gonna come out a little bit and then come back, and that's going to kind of be like a little cheek. And the same thing on this side. I want this line to come out and then come back in for a little bit of a cheek. I want this line to curve under for the chin. We're actually going to have a bump down here at the bottom, kind of like the bottom of his chin where his mouth is going to kind of be opening. All right, so that's the shape of the head, and now we need to add the details on the inside of the face. So if you have any lines from your circle that you drew as your guide, now's a good time to erase those so that you can add the details inside the head. All right, the eyes are going to be big ovals. Again, we're not trying to draw a turtle to make it look like it's real. Today, we're going to be drawing turtles that look like cartoon characters. All right, on the inside of our ovals, we're gonna give him an eyelid. So with a curved line here and a curved line here, we can make that top part of his eye a eyelid. And we're gonna draw another oval inside, almost the same size, just leave a little bit of white space here and draw another big oval over here. And for our reflecting light this time, we're gonna draw a little circle here and a little circle here. This, well, that's a little bit too big maybe. This circle down here at the bottom is slightly smaller than this circle. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just use your pencil and shade in the big oval and kind of go up and around those circles that you drew, because you want the circle, the little tiny circles inside, those are going to stay white. Those are going to be like the light reflecting. Okay, so now we're ready for the nose. The nose is gonna be one big curved line, and you're gonna draw little tiny nostrils. There's a little circle with a line coming out of it, and a little circle with a line coming out of it, and those are gonna be his little turtle nostrils. And now we're gonna draw a big smiley face. So first start like almost right underneath where you stopped with the nose, and draw a big curved line for like just a regular smiley face, but we're gonna make it even bigger. We're gonna come down and back up for a really big smile, and we're gonna give him a little bit of a cheek line right here, so a little curved line on both sides to look like part of his cheeks. And you can give him a little tongue. If you just go one bump, two bumps, that'll look like a tongue on the inside of his mouth. And that is what you need for the face. Let's continue drawing the shell. So we're actually gonna draw like a neck that's gonna be coming out. And so the neck is gonna be down here, coming out of the shell right here. So we're gonna draw a curved line right here. And this is gonna follow the same line that you already drew for the bottom of his shell. And we're actually gonna draw one more of those lines. And we're going to stop it right there because that's where we're gonna draw a leg. So let's just go ahead and do that leg now. So this leg coming out here is gonna be the back leg, and we're gonna have this line end when it gets to the leg, and we probably should have drawn the other front leg. Let's draw the front leg here and erase this line back out because that's the part of the shell that's going back behind that leg. This leg can come down one straight line here, and it's coming out from behind the shell, so you don't want to draw the line here. You want it coming out from behind it, and then draw the bottom of the foot. And you can have, so these are the two legs that are on this side, and then this is in the back, and then we need another back leg. We can put his other back leg back here. All right, we can add little toes. If you have little bumps for the toes. All right. right? And we want to kind of draw a little bit of the bottom of his shell on the underside. So you wouldn't, from this angle, you wouldn't really see too much of it. So you can just draw a line like that, and you can even draw a little pattern right here. That would be those little like pieces that are on the bottom of his shell if you want to. The last thing that we want to add to the shell are some stripes and some patterns. So we're going to do the same stripes that we did on our other turtle, where they kind of curve a little bit depending on which way the shell is shaped. So this side of the shell, I'm curving my lines this way. This side of the shell, I'm curving my lines this way. And this one, I just left it straight up and down because that's kind of like the middle of where the shell is. And then I'm going to add some curved lines on the bottom also. And then for the pattern on the top of the shell, I'm going to add some of these bumps. And they kind of all are a little bit connected. So where this one stops, the next one starts. This one stops, the next one starts. And you just go across in a row. And then you want to do another row on top of that. And the way that I do that kind of pattern is wherever this one has like a flat area on the top, that's where this line is going to be. See how the flat area is here and this line is here, flat area here, this line. So the line that's on the next row is always going to be coming down in the center of the bottom row. I'll show you again. Straight line coming down right in the middle of this one. Come up and over. Straight line is coming down in the middle of this one. So basically the pattern is stacked on top of itself until you get to the top and you run out of room. Okay, inside of each one of these, I want to do another one of those spirals. You can do the spiral as far as you want. You can make it keep continuing around and around and around, or I'm just going to do a little bit of a spiral in each one. I'm not going to keep on continuing it around until it runs out of room. All right, last thing to add, actually two things. We forgot his tail, so we need to have a little tail coming out of the back of his shell back here. And we need to add some of those little freckles. So on this one, we're gonna draw our freckles kind of bigger. So they're gonna be either circles or ovals. I'm gonna put 2 little freckles on his forehead. I'm gonna put a couple of freckles over here on his cheek. And I'm gonna add some of those freckles down here on his legs. You can add as many freckles as you want, or you don't have to add any at all. All right, we are to the part of the video where if you don't have anything at home for coloring, you can turn the video off, or you can watch. We're just going to be coloring in super speed, so it's not like I'm going to be giving you any pointers or anything. So if you just want to watch the video and watch me color, it's not going to take too long because it's going to be in super speed. And then I will do another one of Mr. Smith's challenges at the end of the video. So stay tuned at the end of the video for a PE challenge. Well, I hope you had fun drawing and coloring our turtle today. Remember, you can upload your drawings to Schoology, and I would love to see what you've been drawing at home. Shout out to Dylan. He's the only student so far to upload any drawings onto Schoology, and he uploaded a picture of his bird drawing, so awesome job, Dylan. And hopefully I will see some more pictures showing up on Schoology so that I can give you a shout out on YouTube. So that's the end of our video for today, except for stay tuned. The very end of the video is going to be the sock basketball challenge. Okay, here we are in my bedroom. We've got the laundry basket. We've got the 10 pairs of socks. And let's see how we do with the sock basketball challenge. Here's number 1. Oh, way off. It hit the door stopper. Oh, no. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, miss. Oh, another miss. Another miss. Oh, my gosh. Nope. And 4. Okay, I think I know what the problem was. And it's probably Mr. Smith's problem too. We were trying to get a good camera angle and throw socks at the same time. Didn't really work. Because I tried it before and I was shooting really well. And now that I'm trying to record it at the same time, not so good. So it looks like me and Mr. Smith, 4 out of 10. Kind of sad. Let's see how well you do.